Question 12 is all about factorising. So what we've got to remember is when we factorise, it means put back into brackets. Okay? And there are two ways we can do this. We can use the grid method, or we can just use our understanding of factorising. Now I've shown you how to do it using the grid. So this is what we're going to use. So first of all, the first one, it says factorise 8x squared plus 6xy. And what you should notice in this one is that there is a number that goes into both 8 and 6. And there's also the letters that are the same in each term. Okay, so that means there's going to be a factor that we can take out. So this is a single bracket. So what we would draw for this one is 2 single boxes. And what we know is we know the answer on the inside. So we know 8x squared here and 6xy here. Okay, so first of all, I need to find the highest common factor of 8 and 6. Okay, don't forget, don't get these the wrong way round. You will be tempted to tell me that it's 24, okay, but it's not. Okay, you look at the numbers that are factors of 8. So 1, 2, 4 and 8. Factors of 6 are 1, 2, 3 and 6. What's the highest in both? 2. So 2 goes on the outside. Okay, that's our highest common factor. The next bit is there a letter that's in both parts? Well, yes, there is. There's an X in both parts. Okay, so we can put X on the outside. Right, the next bit is to figure out what goes up here. Okay, and we know that when we multiply these two things together, we get 8x squared. So I like to do it in parts. So I've got 2. What would I multiply 2 by to get 8? 4. What would I multiply x by to get x squared? X. The next bit, what would I multiply 2 by to get 6 or 3? And what would I multiply x by to get xy? Y. So what I've got now is my factorised parts, but I just need to write it out fully in its bracket. So 2x goes on the outside and 4x plus 3y goes on the inside. Part B is a different factorise. So when we look at this one, it's got 3 parts. And what I can see is there's no number that goes into 13 and 40. And there isn't an x in each part. So what we've got to realise this one is it's double brackets. So for this one, we would draw out a 4 grid. Okay? And what you've got to remember is, so how we did this in class was that we knew that we could put in the first and the last term into our grid. So we put x squared here and 40 down here. We also knew that we could put x and x on the outside, okay? And we knew that we'd have 2 brackets with x and x at the beginning. And what I showed you to do next was find numbers that multiply together to make 40. So let's write them down. Well, we've got 1 and 40, 2 and 20, 8 and 5, and 4 and 10. Okay, right, we need to make 13. Now there's only one pair of numbers that's going to make 13 here, which is 8 and 5. So I know that one is going to be 8x and the other is going to be 5x, because when I add them together they make 13, and when I multiply them they make 40. And what the trick is now is whatever number is in front of your x is what goes on the outside of the bracket. So we've got x plus 8 and x plus 5. Okay. Part 2 for this, explain how you could check that your answer to part 1 is correct. Well, you would multiply it back out. Okay, so you would expand the bracket to show that when you multiply those together, it actually gives you x squared plus 13x plus 40.